So my name's Fiona Schofield, and my creative pursuit is my business called Fiona Schofield Millinery, and I'm versed in the art of making hats. And tonight, I guess my hope is to give you a small insight into my background, to my skills, what challenges and inspires me in the work that I do, and how I feel about working in a creative industry. This is one of the first hats I ever made. It started out 24 years ago. I had a burning desire to work in design. At that stage I thought it was fashion that was going to be my place in the world, and I had a passion for fashion, and I was in heaven when I enrolled at the very prestigious White House School of Design, and I undertook their course. At that stage was fashion design and illustration. We learned every aspect from pattern making to dressmaking, and yes, I have gone mad. I specialised into millinery, and the melting pot that was school life was amazing. I felt at home for the first time in my life, I guess. And the high pressure, the intense creativity fueled all of us, I guess. There were 24 of us in the year, and the greatest thing it gave me was we had to produce fully styled garments. So make them, style them, accessorise them, present them on a model on a catwalk every 6 to 8 weeks. The looks were great and varied, and it gave me great skills in critiquing, in excelling at things, in failing terribly at things. Swimsuits were not my territory, but it taught me to achieve and to grow. I started working in conjunction with my schooling. I was lucky enough. The philosophy of the school was that all of the lecturers must be working within the industry as well. They didn't have full-time teachers. This is my workroom here in Orange, and I do a lot of work this way now with the with social media and with internet and emailing. I do a lot of photographing myself in front of the mirror, wearing the client's hat, holding the dress up. It's an interesting philosophy, an interesting way to work. My lecturer at uni was Neil Grigg. He was the up-and-coming society milliner. He's now very well recognised, and is probably most well known as being the milliner for the Waterhouse family. He dresses Gay and Kate most regularly, and in my time there we used to dress Gay's mother. I got the opportunity working with Neil to work on such a range of hats and headpieces, and so my training was very broad and gave me a very good basis to work in the industry. I got to work on high-end fashion. I got to work on, we somehow managed to fluke the contract for what was then the Ansett Airlines hats, and that was somewhere between 2,000 and 10,000 every season. And that was mind-numbing, but a good lesson in you've got to have your bread and butter in your industry. We also got to do great costume work. Knowing now that accessories was where I wanted to be, I chose to spread my wings. I went and spent 6 years with Dinosaur Designs, where I gained great skills in jewellery. They're a fantastic design group. For those of you who don't know, they work predominantly in resin and do homewares and jewellery. They're now expanding to London after opening their store in New York. They gave me a great insight into a work-life balance in a creative industry, and that you can actually have success and you can work in a creative field and be acknowledged, be recognised. I guess they reinforce that choosing to be a working artist is actually a valid pursuit, whereas a lot of my peers kept asking me when I was going to go and get a real job. Sorry, the image, I'm not tying to my images as some of the others have. The images that are flowing are different aspects of the sort of work that I've done. We moved to Orange in 2004. I grew up in the Central West region. and I knew that it was a beautiful place and that I wanted to raise my family here. We moved here in 2004. We arrived on the Saturday and our second child arrived on the Monday. It was the best move I ever did. I didn't have to lift a finger. But on arrival realised that there weren't any big design houses here to work for. There's nothing that really fitted what I had experience in, and so I hung my shingle on the door and crossed my fingers that they would come, and thankfully 10 years later they have. I've got a small workroom at home where I hand make pieces for brides, racegoers, people who are looking for a hat that can be worn every day that suits them and that fits them. A lot of people I see understand that commissioning a hat is similar to commissioning a painting. You're not just paying for a product, you're paying for the skills and expertise of the artist. The opportunity for the customer to be part of the design process and being able to determine the end look of their piece rather than having to make do with what's available off the rack is an exciting and sometimes daunting process in a relationship that comes with a big amount of trust and faith in my ability to interpret their needs and wants and being able to deliver the goods. This is by far my favourite area of work and probably the largest part of my business. And as I said earlier, with the assistance of the internet, it creates some interesting photos in front of the mirror. I've allowed the business to grow organically, and even though I've been here 10 years, it surprised me the new people that I meet each day. And now it's over to here, and I've spoken too slowly, which is a great change for me. I'll close with a quick piece. A regional setting has challenged me in how the work I do is perceived, and without the support of a strong creative industry, which Orange does have, I feel very grateful to be part of the one that's here. The best compliment I have had is telling me that they're so pleased to own a Fiona Schofield piece.